1, 2. Are we live? Checking to see who's out there. I'm gonna try checking the community to see if people's in here. Okay. Yeah, let's get a little music going. Boom. On YouTube live right now. Convos.live. Sorry to disturb the ECAMM community, but I love you people. That is a fact. Forgive me, ECAMM, I'm not using the orange microphone. Let's go. Boom, boom, boom. Produced by Pelzer with Floetry, a guy named Darren Henson. Something we did a while ago. It says, you can do what you want to do. Go ahead, be yourself. Yes. Going to my ECAMM switcher. What you gotta do. Go ahead and do what you gotta do. Momentarily, it's gonna switch by itself. ECAMM switcher folder. It is on random. Yes. So randomly, it switches by itself. That's the power of ECAMM. I'm feeling it. Audio piping through the system. Of course, I have my audio hookup, but ECAMM brings it through. Whatever you put in it, it's gonna come right on through. Yourself, yes. Yourself, yeah. You can do what you gotta do. Go ahead, do what you gotta do. Who's out there? Holla at me. Say your name so I know it's you. See if I duck the music. Say your name so I know it's you. Okay? I'll be here for a little second if you got any questions. If you don't ask any, I'll answer some of the questions that I got after the stream. Okay? What's going on, Richard? He is in the house once again. Rich, come on, man. When you going live again? You know? One of the best setups. I seen him on the low. So if you go to Rich's YouTube, you will see he's got some stuff. All right. I don't know if he's still doing it, whatever. I'll catch up. I'll see. All right. Didn't get the notifications. We don't want that scene in there. Why is that scene there? There's nobody back there. I got to take that out of the loop. Okay. Let's get back to the music. Get it up. Gotta do something about that camera switching. All right. Sammy, I see you, man. On the YouTube side, see that? ECAMmers. It's 4 people in ECAMM, and then there's Sammy and Rich on the YouTube side. What's going on, fellas? Check this out. I'm loving this Duck the Music piece right here. You said stream looks crispy. So there's a little haze here. This is the black mist filter on the, what do you call this thing? Yeah, you know what? The names start to slip me. I'm like a knucklehead. I'll be messing with these names. It's the little box on the front of it. So it's the big glass. Okay. Richard, why am I forgetting the name of that stuff? It's called the matte box. The matte box. Duh. There's a matte box on here, and there is a Tiffin filter on there, and that has black mist on there. So it's kind of blooming the light out here a little bit. Yeah. Thanks, Sammy. March 19th. Yes. Okay, there we go, Rich. March 19th. Look for the notification. Ladies and gentlemen, Rich will be on there. Don't sleep on him. He's been doing this stuff for a while. Okay, camera switching, great audio, all of that stuff. This is just my theme music. Something I did a long time ago, almost 20 years ago, but I'm still feeling it. Same Floetry. It's them girls right there on the wall. All right. All right, music going. Best streaming setup. Sammy, it took me a while to work on this, and here's something I want to show you guys. So, this is the reason why you take a pivot like ECAMM, right? And you let that be your set off to set you up for what it is that you're doing creatively, right? So this is the Keith Pelzer nugget I'm dropping here, or gems as we call them. I don't even know if I got the gem thing on there, but this is one of those things that I like. And the reason why I jumped in here live is like, I like to present myself and give back to the community because, and it's not like okay, watch this here. Many of us will say, okay, I paid my subscription for ECAMM, got it. I don't owe them nothing. That's true. But it's not just the software. It's, as Doc Rock would say, I call him the Bishop of Streaming. Bishop Doc Rock of the streaming will say, it is about the value, right, of community. And community does not happen without you communing with someone else. Catch that. Communities do not happen without you communing with someone else. It is a statement that we make in our faith sometime about iron sharpens iron, right? And so when you think about, oh, you still hearing background audio. Let me think. All right, Richard, make sure you help me out, okay? Because I did shut the music off. So if you're hearing something in the background, no, you're not. Are you hearing something now? Just let me know. So I know it's a little bit of delay into the YouTube, but if you are, cool. Okay. Johnny, thank you. Mike is fire. Listen, this is something you can check out on my YouTube, where it actually lets you know about how I wrap these microphones. I let the secret out because at the end of the day, you got to do the work. If I wanted to make a business out of it, I would have. There is somebody in the business of it that actually wraps mics, and that is called Colorware. Colorware does it for video game consoles, blah, 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 blah. It just costs kind of like a fortune just to get an MV7 wrapped. I paid for it. You hear people talking. Are you kidding me? Let me see. Shh. I don't hear anything, Rich. You said people talking in the background. I don't have anything piping through there. But if you hear people talking in the background, I'm just kind of curious on what that would be. You got me thinking now. You spooking me, bro? I'll listen to the broadcast and see if it's people still talking. Oh, you know what? That was I'm pretty sure that was the track you were listening to. Okay, good. Cause Johnny said I don't hear anything. So Richard, that's what we used to do in the track. So in the track, matter of fact, at the end of the song, they were talking. So check it out. So I don't know if you heard it with the beat in the background, but that's, yeah. Maybe that's what you heard. Okay. All right, back to this point I was jumping on. And that simply is this. So community. We talk about community and iron sharpens iron, right? And so when you have iron sharpens iron community, this is what builds one another up. So again, like I said, you might say, I pay my subscription, but beyond the subscription, there's community. This is why Facebook allows for it, or this is something in life with community. And, we have a great community. If you live in a complex of some sort, townhomes or whatever, apartments, it's your community, right? So in the community, you help one another grow. You help one another, solve problems and stuff. And I'm a person of clarity. If you see in my description, I call it clear. So I'm literally riding with this. It's not a new concept. I just put the acronym together. And the last one kind of sounds redundant. It's recording, but it's camera, lights, ECAMM. That's the all caps, right? And then A is audio, R is record. So clear. Let's be clear. My wife always says, let's be clear. Okay, got it. That's the thing. Shout out to James Hicks. He has it on the trigger. He has Tina on there saying, let's be clear. All right. David, what's going on? He's over on that YouTube side. I am not going to hold up everybody in the community on ECAMM, so I'm both places. So if you want to check it out, I am streaming at, I think, 2K. So if you want to check it out on YouTube, that is at theconvos.live. You can see that. You can check it out on your TV or whatever, your phone, and just see the quality of what ECAMM is producing. Now, Sammy, I got something good for you. Here's the crazy thing. I was so into, and this is why you have to be careful on the one-stop shop of mimicking, right? It is influence is one thing, but mimicking can put you in a mess, right? Because you won't be pushing through on your creativity, right? You want to be pushing through on your creativity. I can't see names on Facebook, so I'm actually going to go to the community just to see and double check, so I can keep up to see what names are popping in when people are talking. All right, Augustus, I see what's happening. So what's going on, Augustus? I think that is you. Corbett, what's going on? If you have any questions, let me turn this down. If you have any questions, make sure you just go ahead and feel free to shoot them. This is what we used to do a lot. I would call myself almost like a semi-OG in ECAMM. Got on with Stephanie Lou and Katie. They were very helpful at the beginning when I took a leap of faith and just jumped in, invested in, this software, because I said you have to invest in your pandemic platform. And that's going to set you up for when that platform is not necessary connected to pandemic, but pandemic is pretty much past, but we're still streaming. And so this is arguably not the best looking studio in ECAMM. I think all of the studios are great. It is one of those things where I think uniqueness is what's going to do it, right? We had a time when people were uniquely figuring it out. If you love your home, if you love your space that you in, you love your bedroom, that's what you do in your streaming platform, and you build it up to that so that you can present your best self, so that you can go ahead and be yourself. This is the thing. ECAMM has not hired me to do this or say this or ask me or inbox me, whatever. It's just something that I do. And it is how sometimes people think about karma. It reaches you. I also think that giving gives back to you. Okay. So everybody should have a place of giving. And a part of giving for me is, and I'm going to bless you all, anybody that has the master classes, the coaching and all of that stuff, I am not stepping in your space, right? I'm just setting you up for the people that don't know how to come to you because they're still trying to figure out what to do. Okay. So, you asked about this right here. So which blackness filter are you using on your jib? Let's get with the questions. The 1/8, 1/4, 1/2. So I have a 1/4 and an 8. On here now is the 8, I believe. I think I have the 8 on here now. Let me see. Which one are you? I'm trying to see the edges. This is, you know what? Oh, yeah, I don't want to stop the jib and pull it off. But I believe that's the 1/8. And sometimes I'll play with the exposure on there and bump it, take it up a stop, because I like to do like a dark room thing at nighttime. Keep it a little, shadowy in the background. Shout out to Rabbi, okay? I think it's Rabbi. I think that's how you pronounce your name. Got an inbox from him, and if you've seen his post earlier, he brought up the question. My ISO is jumping right now because of the session I had earlier. I set it for the sunlight in the back window. And so these are some of the things that I'm talking about on not being so perfect with everything that you're doing, but just going with the flow. But you asked about that jib. That is a 1/8, and I kind of bumped it so that when I actually go to that camera, it's got its dreamy effect to it on purpose, right? It'll take a lot for me to kind of match it to everything else. So if you notice the color and this bluish, it's a Letz on this. It's like a little bit of bluish. And over here is kind of the same thing, but positioned with the lights, it'll give a certain image, right? And the front is kind of pretty much the same. But here's the thing I want to show y'all. The lens right here in front, I don't know if you notice or not, it is not the Sigma 16 right now. This is the Sigma 16 millimeter lens. And so I don't have a zoom on this right now. And I put it on there to be that sharp 1.4. It's at 1.4 right now, right? I got that on there, is sharp. And then I'm playing with the matte box and the blackness filter, right? But on this front camera, I had to have 2 people at the desk for an earlier broadcasting show, which was great. And of course, once again, I used ECAMM to show off and, show the camera switch in. We got the ISO record, ladies and gentlemen. So the client is happy because we got the client on this camera only. So they're sitting here talking there, and they have a whole file. It's 1080p. But the file's looking straight at them while the whole time we're broadcasting with 2 people at the desk. But here's the thing. The lens on this guy right here, ready? The lens on this thing right here, let me pull you in just a little bit closer so you can see this. You won't see the whole thing, but on this desk right here, right? Back here, this is a Tamron 11 to 20. Now, a long time ago, I was on talking about it before, but it's the Tamron 11 to 20. And the thing I like about it is deliberately, we got this bubble effect, right? So if I wanted to show a little muscle, you know, get the whole mic in there, make the room look bigger, this is how you do certain things to get the look that you want. Whereas a regular Sigma 16 is not going to give you that. It's just going to, you know, widen the spot. But if you want the room to look a little bit bigger, hint, hint, you can get a little bit of fisheye going on where, depending on where you sit, you're not too bubbly, right? But look at the dynamic here. See, when I'm in here, in and out, you know, the dynamic, shout out to this Sony ZV-E10 with the focusing, but you get this kind of like bubbly, you know, thing. And it's deliberate because it goes with my character. Look at that. See that? I used to have a little thing about, I didn't want those lights to show there, but who cares, right? If I want to box it out, I got to zoom here. And so then I have the flexibility to tighten up the shot. So let's go into 20, right? So here it is at 20 millimeters. A little boxy on my head. I could tilt the camera up, but now we have this tight shot. Notice this. This is what the majority of people do. They get on the camera, right? And the first thing they do is they're worried about lights and all of this stuff in the background. But this is what you see on their camera all the time. It's just them boxed straight in it. Some of us, we do so much work in our room. Show it. Let people into your space a little bit, right? You know, that kind of thing. This is why I like to help people, okay? Because it goes along with creativity and it goes along with the reason why you jump on ECAMM in the first place, so that it is always ahead of you, but it's there when you need it for the creativity that you want. So I got to fix this auto cam switch because, let me just check my cameras again. That one, that one, that one. And then if I go to auto cam, I don't want it to go to the desk. Okay, so thank you. Jumping on the questions with it. If you got a question, pop it off to me about Alan Beck. All right, I got you. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. And David, you said great point. Elaborate on that. Great point on. Thank you so much for that. David is over on this on right. Okay, Richard, I think I got what he's probably saying. Richard is saying yes. Yep, agree. The great point is show it. Okay, so this is why I deliberately have this camera going over here. I had a reason to get it for production outside of streaming, but I integrated it into the streaming to kind of give a dynamic, to use all of this goodness that you get out of this software, right? You know, so right now I'm playing this camera over here, but I'm gonna hit this auto switcher and it should, oh, because I got the over desk in the, okay, ladies and gentlemen, I will show you. Let's get to show the screen. Okay, I'm showing my screen now. You can't really see it, but over here, where the mouse got bigger over there, I took all the cameras that I have and I put specific ones in the folder. The problem was I put the over the desk in the folder, so it was jumping to the desk camera behind me. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to take that out of the folder, right? Let me see, is it going to let me move it? I'm going to take it out of the folder. It's kind of hard to move that out the folder. That's kind of weird. Okay, I got it out of the folder. Good. Okay, so I got that out of the folder. So now in my camera switching, over in this little section over here, it should not switch to, the wrong camera. Okay, so it's only going to get the cameras where I'm at, and it's not going to get this camera behind me. Thank you. So, good. Here's a question. How are you managing the zoom? Okay, so I need you to clarify which zoom. So there's two zooms that I'm doing. The one zoom I'm doing, taking out of auto, this zoom right here is actually on the lens itself because, again, I like to break some of the the constraints. When you jump into certain communities, especially ECAMM community, the first thing everybody's going to blurt out, they say, I need a good lens. And majority of us are going to say, you need a Sigma 16 millimeter. Here's the Keith Pelzer version of it. Sigma has, for APS-C cameras, if you're using the APS-C, and I'm specifically speaking about Sony, I don't speak on cameras I don't really know. So a Canon user can help me with the equivalents, right? Shout out to Diana Gladney. We always have a joke with her about the Canon camera, but that's an old joke. It's played out. Shout out to her, my sis. But majority of us will have a ZV-E10, A64, A6100 APS-C camera. And we all kind of concluded that the Sigma 16 millimeter is probably your best bet. So I'm going to put this at 16 mils. So this is 16 millimeters. This is not a Sigma lens on here, but that would give you this much of the room, but not with this bubbled effect. And this is a 16 millimeter right here, right? So the width that you see here, that's at 16 millimeters. And if you look on here, the camera is that far away from me, all right? So the camera's right here, and you have a, 16 millimeter viewpoint, right? So whatever that degree is. So now you have that. But for me, I got on that whole 16 millimeter. These are 30s. This is a 30. And so that's going to give you a more close in tight shot, but also the cameras are a little bit further away from me. And to show you perspective, these are 30 millimeters. And so it's a little bit more tighter for a face shot. One of my original shots when I first got into ECAMM and I got into the teleprompter, I was always doing this right here. So my whole setup, if I switch to this other mic right here, my whole setup was pretty much this. And so yeah, I know the mic sounds different. I got the settings different, but I would always just broadcast like this, which is actually one of my favorite shots and angles. But I like to be able to look at the screen. But if I'm just pretty much focused and just talking and not doing things on the computer, I would just normally talk in this because I like to play the angle there. But a 30 millimeter works better than a 16, okay? Back to this other mic. So you have to know which one works for you, not what everybody's telling you is the thing to get. Okay, I hope that's helping somebody out. It's not always what people tell you to get. It's diagnosing what works for you, and the way that you know it is after you get your ECAMM is to take the camera in the computer, take your phone, whatever you got, your webcam, and say, this is what I think I want to do. And then you start accessorizing based on what you want to do. If I was a plug for ECAMM, I'd say, get the pro version, invest your money there, and then build around it instead of just doing a whole bunch of gear and then having to replace it if you're not a geek freak, okay? Okay, I'll get to the other questions. So that's managing the zoom. So I hope that's what you were asking. But on here, I'm using a zoom lens. And the reason why I'm using this is because clients come in and they want to put two people at the desk and the 16 millimeter wasn't cutting it. So I got the 11 and this is stretched all the way out at 11. It is not advised because if you see, it's catching a little bit of the corner over here. So you can't use an 11 on this teleprompter. So if I squeeze this in, we are probably at around a 13. Yeah, we're probably at 13 millimeter, and that's where I can squeeze it to and give this bubbling wide effect. Okay. Now, how much does your music genius influence your ability to create? I think it does a lot. Okay. I realized something. I'm not just a musician, producer, songwriter, blah, blah, blah. It's in us to create, right? So if I wasn't in the ECAMM community, something I may do on my own, just straightforward live or on Facebook, is talking about, and this is why that theme song that I'm playing, be yourself, right? And this is my gratitude, giving back to ECAMM about how it really allows you to be yourself, right? And so to be yourself in the creativeness, how much does your music genius influence your ability to create? I wouldn't really call it genius, but what I've done with music is I just allowed myself to pretty much, again, be myself, right? The thing I like about ECAMM is like the twins just seem like they care so much that they don't care. Something that Doc Rock told us when he finally met the twins, Ken and Glenn, shout out to those two. you know, he was just talking about how they're always dialed in. So I forget which one of the twins. He was just like, yo, you could be at a house gathering, chilling, eating, and you say, oh, it'd be nice if ECAMM could fly a ship across the screen. And he's like, dude just picks up the laptop and goes in. It's like, what are you doing? I'm trying to figure out how to do that. It's like they're just dialed in on just break the rules and make it happen. And here's another little shout out for the crew. It's like we got people in here like, oh, I wish ECAMM could call the president, and they'll try to figure it out, and the price don't even really go up or nothing. Okay, so that's a good community to be in, people. So why not give back? So someone says I have the ZV-E10 and would love to make my videos better quality. Okay, I'm gonna get to the rest of them, but let me sit on this, and this is what I'm gonna just take the liberty of. I actually had a certain level of, and y'all gonna be shocked for me to say this, I had a level of, I'm competitive, but not, okay, let me put it this way. It was a slight intimidation, right? Because in a community, you like acceptance. But after a while, when it starts to turn into, you know, better, and sometimes there's that place of platform of I'm better at it. I never actually feel that way. I always feel like creating and doing more and trying to be better and always moving the goalposts myself to push myself. So it's like putting more weights on the barbells. Once this becomes light, you put more on there so that you can work strain. And so this user, I'm going to find out who you are. And you said about, okay, I'm going to find out who you are. Just hang on. Hang on 1 second. Okay, so Alan. So Alan, your question is, you say you would love to make your videos better quality. So if you have the ZV-E10, right, chances could be maybe you have the kit lens. That is not a bad lens. Better is relative. This is where we do come into specifics for those. Shout out to people that know, that have done the work. Everybody doesn't have to throw their credentials out there. I think all of us are somebody. That's how I just feel about everybody. I don't know everybody, so I don't know the extension of your background, but you could be doing movie and film, but this is a different realm, and some people can figure it out, and they're not the experts, right? So when we share, we help people figure it out. So let's get to your point. You have a ZV-E10. The question now is, what lens do you have? The reason why I'm asking is because it becomes relevant based on whatever the challenges are in your room. So there are things that can throw things into, people will ask me, and they'll say, what kind of camera are you using? And in a sense, that is not the right question. The question sometimes is, you know, let me see the lighting in your room, would be more relevant than just what the camera is, because even though I'm a Sony guy, I'm friends with photographers that are like killing it with the Canon, killing it with a Luminex, killing it with a Nikon, right? And so at the end of the day, nobody looks at a picture and says, that was shot with a Sony. I mean, a super professional maybe, but the average person just says it's a nice picture or not. So if you got a great Sony camera, but you take the bad shot, then that camera is no less than the Canon. The Canon's no better, or the Sony's no better. It's all about you had the shot wrong. And so to get into this wanting to be better, I would go with a Sigma, right? So to everybody's point, Sigma 16 millimeter, yes, I would go with it. But again, we'd have to see what's the space you're shooting in. Where are you putting the camera at? What's behind you, right? Because sometimes it's just little trinkets and stuff that can make the room look better. Okay. Alexa, turn on stand-up desk. So let's light the room up just a little bit. Okay. Now, I lit the room up. Look at the room. There's a lot of stuff in there. It's like aesthetics and stuff. It's because I fixed the room up like I want to live in it. And so basically what you're seeing is the place I want to live in. And then I'm capturing the framing of something that looks appealing to the eye, right? I got a big color mic sitting here. You know, I got these yellow glasses on. And then when you take all of that and shut it off, Alexa, turn off stand-up desk. You get that light off, right? Alexa, turn off soft boxes. Did she listen to me? Okay. Alexa, turn off soft boxes. So when she turns those off, then you get, okay, she don't want to listen to me right now. But anyway, I'll turn off another thing. You get your 3-point lighting right. Okay, I'll just show you this. This is the key thing. And I said this to someone that was asking questions from the live the other night. I started with this, and I used to have a light right over my head for a hair light. I don't have any hair on my head, but it was the hair light. Once you get that, then you set the camera with that. All cameras basically should give you that. The camera I just showed you is a cheap camera. This is a cheap camera. That's the zoom. I'm doing this zoom by ECAMM if somebody was asking. This is without the digital zoom on there. That is the natural shot with a kit lens on there. And most people would consider, hey, your camera looks clean, it's crisp. But here's the problem. That is a kit lens, and that's an A5100, and it's not running at 4K. But if it looks good to you now and looks good on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, be encouraged, because spending a ton of money is probably not the answer for you. It's just getting it right with what you have. And a lot of times that takes some tweaking, that takes a little bit of camera work. So when I put the Tamron lens on this camera right here, I had to do some adjustments. And right now my ISO is jumping because I had it set earlier for the window in the back. My lights are changing. And so if you really look closely on the outer edges, it's going lighter and darker. Let me just like tame this guy a little bit. I tame him here, and let's raise him right here and kind of bring him back down here. Okay. And it should be a little bit more stable and stop jumping all around, because I have the ISO on auto. Normally I'll just put it at a fix so it's not jumping as much, and then I could actually brighten up a couple other things. Boom, there we go. Okay, so we took dark mode out, but see that a couple of settings that I just did, that clears up the picture. And then you get the metering right on there, which is something you listen to the experts, they'll walk you through it to get your metering right. And you actually get a clean picture, and you can do this off of kit lenses. It is into the specifics of, you know, dialing in for you. So a lot of what I do is not for everybody else. It's just for me because I like it. All right. I hope that answers the question. Sorry I got long with it. I am a preacher still, but you know. All right, Johnny, listen. Good to see you. I love the art on your graphic there. You're probably gone. So we have Lionel Bailey. So problem question. Okay. I have orange tint in ECAMM while trying to troubleshoot picture freeze between CamLink and TS4. Not sure. Well, we'll begin to where to begin to fix it. I think that would be what you were saying. So step number one, it can be a TS4 problem. Doc Rock has put up something that kind of clarified. And if you're using a MacBook, so Lionel put on here, I saw some of your video, but I didn't watch it in detail. It can be something with a MacBook. I don't know. So I don't know if you have a desktop or a MacBook. Now, with the TS4, I do not have a TS4. I got a Studio Mac and an M1 Mac over there. But the thing is, I stay with the TS3. I don't know if you jumped in, you know, later on and you might have said, hey, what do I get? And maybe somebody suggested the Cal Digit. But this is the thing when we don't pull out all the details, right? If we don't pull out all the details, we may get something that it's working for somebody, but there are other components. If you don't have the matching components, when you get it, it may do something different. And it could be as simple as, hey, everybody got TS4. Well, everybody's got a desktop. When you get a TS4 with a laptop, maybe it does something different. So I think Doc Rock can provide some insight on what you may need to do with that. So you have an orange tint in ECAMM. Now, the orange tint can be anything. It can be from the color over here. Here's my orange tint. That's because my temperature's hot. If I put it back at 0, we have that. Of course, I'm messing with the brightness and the darkness over here. I don't know. It could be a saturation thing. If you're getting this, it could be saturation. Okay. And this is if I wanted to play around with black and white, I like to do that at times. But just check your saturation on your camera, and or in the camera effects column, right? Just to make sure that all of those are reset to 0. Start from there. And if you have an orange tint, it could be a number of things. And so, yes, troubleshooting can be a pain in the neck. I'm not sure what camera you're working with, and then the settings in your camera as well. This is a Keith Pelzer thing. The experts, y'all can chime in. I don't know about y'all, but I don't have my camera set to output 4K. Okay, so let this sink in. Maybe you're expert and you'd be like, Keith, your image sucks because it seems like it's like pixelated or whatever. Cool. If it looks bad, let me know. But if it looks good, say, yeah, it looks good. But then I'm going to, blow the whistle and tell you, okay, I actually don't have like 4K running. And so some people jump into this, they go, oh, 4K. And it's like, you're streaming to Facebook. Nobody's watching you in 4K like that. Or if you're repurposing your stuff, right? I just did a big project for a large company and they didn't even need it in 4K because the files was just messing with them. So most of the people was like, yo, I'm like, hey, I can also drop it into a 422 something for Apple products or whatever, and it can come up on your phone and play real quick. And they're like, yeah, send me that version. And they're like, oh, it looks great. I'm sending people stuff in 720 and 1080, and they like, oh, this is the greatest product ever. And I'm sitting there like, I ain't wasting my hard space on 4Ks. So people, why are we trying to stream all hard? Now, the good news is ECAMM does all of that. And right now, my settings are on 2K, not 4. Let that sink in, okay? And then there's times that when I go live to Instagram is going to drop you down to 720, right? I come off of Instagram and I forget, and then I stream, and people are like, oh, what kind of camera you got? What kind of lens you got? Blah, 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 blah. And then I'm looking like, oh, snap, I was in 720. Ladies and gentlemen, don't stress yourself, okay? Agree. ECAMM is the truth. I just got my leadership to agree to use it to go live for USAF recruiting. Yes, ECAMM for the win. Glad to hear that, sir. Got the kit lens. Okay, so your answer here is yes, you got the kit lens. Okay, let's see. Let me double back. So Alan, you have the kit lens. Okay, he said she's on lunch break. Who's on lunch break? Great video, man. Loving this. Okay, so you have a kit lens, right? Not a problem. I'll show you kit lens on the same camera. Y'all ready for this? This is so this is my full frame kit lens, but I'm going to put it on here so you can see it. Anybody want to see it? Put a thumbs up. And of course, I yanked my my earphones out. I'm going to put it back in because I like to hear myself through the headphones. Now, kit lens right here. This came with my full frame camera. I am going to drop this on this right here. Let's pull this box off. Okay. Now, notice that's going to get a little cleaner because the des view kind of drops the image just a little bit. So let me pop this guy off. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to come right back. Change it. Hang on. Kit lens coming on in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have, oh, wow, that is zoomed way in. Okay, that's as far out as I can zoom. But this, ladies and gentlemen, this is your kit lens. Oh, let me get this even. Okay, so this is a kit lens right here. This is, but it's for full frame, and I put it on the APS-C camera. And this is actually an 18, I believe. It's a 28, ladies and gentlemen. And so because it is a crop sensor camera, it's squeezing it in. But this is a 28. But look at this. I mean, if I told you it was a Sigma, some people may say, oh, that actually looks better than the Tamron lens. Okay, so you be the judge. This is a kit lens sitting right on here right now. So do I need the other lenses and stuff? No, I don't need them. So if I went on a road vacation or something, I don't have to pull my Sigma out. I can just put this right here, but I have to put the camera back far enough But yeah, that is a kit lens. I'll zoom it in so you can see my beard, and you probably can see my beard still crisp. See that? Okay, and that is your kit lens. See my burgundy shirt. Look back here, you can see the mic at the table. But once again, yes, that is the kit lens. I'm going to pull it back off of here because it's just a little bit too tight. Any questions? Okay. All right, Mr. Camera Junkie, what is going on? Mr. Camera Junkie was here. Him and my boy Aiden was right in the house. This is what we've done since you've been here, bro. I wish this table was up when you came through, but you were still here when the sofa was here. And then Indy and Kirk Nugent came past after. And so the table wasn't here, but the chairs were here. But you're going to be back, you and Aiden, but I need you at that table to sit at the table and commune with a brother, okay? So I got the answer there. You got a Mac Mini. Okay, we are getting somewhere. Let's get Lionel rolling. You have a Mac Mini. I like this. Okay, you got a Mac Mini and you have a TS4. Now, I need you to go in the comment section and find out what it was that Doc Rock probably pointed out. I believe it was him, and I think he broke down what the issues are with the TS4. Some people I know, they have sent their TS4s back. Do you need to send it back? I'm not sure. Sometimes you got to play around with these things, and Lionel, you did do the work. I saw it, and I feel your frustration with it, right? Sometimes you just got to reset, go backwards, and then go forward, try it again. But check all things. It could be the camera, and if I'm right about it, you might have solved the cam link problem. And what I'm understanding now is I think you have the orange tint problem. That's a better problem than if the cam links work or not. Okay. Let me get closer and get to this lens that works. But if anybody wanted to see it, it is the Tamron lens right here. That is an 11. Not worried about the kit lens, but it is an 11 to 20. That's a kit lens. It skews the cloudiness. That is a mist filter on there. One thing to point out, I will tell you this. On here, I do have a black Pro Mist quarter, okay? So I'll just show you on here. That is a black Pro Mist. See that? And it is a quarter, okay? I'm trying to get my hand over there, but okay, let's get in focus. There we go. That's a black Pro Mist sitting on top of there, and that's what I have in front. And so I do have to bump it up over here in front of me. Got you. Because of the drop in exposure. Am I right, Mr. Camera Junkie? It has a little drop there because it is pulling it down, I think, one stop. And so you have to compensate for it and pull that back up. Okay. So there, you are seeing a Pro Mist filter in action on this Tamron lens sitting in front of me. Okay. Now, there we go. Juan is in the building. Darnell Jackson. I play his music on Sunday mornings. Doc is here. What's going on, Doc Rock? My dude, he's in the house. Doc, help us out, man. You said something in the comment section. Good. So here we go. We stream 4K because the repurposability is better. It's not the look. Yes, Blu-ray was rocking 720 for years. Thank you, Doc, for mentioning that. So, disclaimer, I will go 4K if I know I have to repurpose. Case in point, and I think we all can agree on this. Sometimes I do have clients that'll, come in, and what they do is the two people sit here in the room. So you have one person over here and one person over there. When you had the two people there, the person that I'm recording, they may want to repurpose it. When they repurpose it, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to take and half it. When they half it, the quality is going to go down when they stretch it and whatever. So to Doc Rock's point, and that's why I call him the bishop of this, and I'm just giving you the Keith Pelzer version, but listen to each person and you chew the meat, spit out the bones, whatever you have you. But Doc is absolutely right. This is why your ECAMM does this. So that when you repurpose it and say, oh, I want to crop so-and-so out of there, you still have good quality. And so because you are back recording on your computer. So here's the only thing. If you say, oh, I'm a stream in 720, well, it's recording 720. And so if you decide to repurpose it and try to blow it up, you have a problem. Okay. And so therefore, this is why people invest, spend the money so that your internet can handle the speed. You have we normally say this, don't try to squeeze out the smallest, memory. Go as high as you can, especially with Apple products, so that you have more than you need, so that the software you're investing into, because the oxymoron is we want ECAMM to do every freaking thing. And when ECAMM can do everything and you still got the 8 megabyte joint, then you say, oh, it's not, I'm trying to plug 20 cam links up to it. Yeah, your computer can't handle all that because you got cheesy on the computer megabytes, right? So that's the kind of reason why it's not like a piss and match of trying to have more and better. It's just kind of saying, if you're one of them people that want more, you got to load up for more. Okay. So that's just one of those things. Okay. Thank you for educating us on that. With 4K clips, we can zoom in dang near 2.5 without pixelating. Got the education, folks? Let me take this liberty to say this now. If you are not in Let's Get Live, because a lot of what I'm doing now is not necessarily all just for the ECAMM community. And so the extension of community, there is a Let's Get Live crew. Okay, so I don't know if somebody's going to drop the link in there, but that is the place where when you ask questions, you're getting answers from the people that have done it. And so I have a Stream Deck, but India Delgado knows the Stream Deck, okay? Alec knows the Stream Deck. Certain people know things that I don't know. I can answer it. I can tell you I do it. But if you were to ask me, what Kelvin are your lights? I'd just say 4,000. If you ask me why you change it, I'll maybe like, I don't know. I just play with it, right? But if you really want to get down to the answer in Let's Get Live, you actually can get people that know the answer. Okay. Great community, and is an extension, counterpart of, I don't want to get the words mixed up, not necessarily affiliated, but it is affiliated because e-cameras are in that space. Did I say it right, Doc? I hope I got it right without jacking it up. Okay. Kit lenses are fine. Your background does not need to be bokeh blurry. Doc tells you, I streamed at 5.6 for a decade and just clean my dang space. Okay. See, this is the expert stuff you get from people that do it. This is why, hear what I'm about to tell you. This is why ECAMM community is so important, because it starts the nucleus of a creative space that you find experts or vets or people that have done the groundwork, okay, that are reachable. We're still teachable, but we're able to teach, we're able to help. Okay. There's, of people, if you worry about your lower thirds and stuff like that, there's people in the community that they eat, breathe, and sleep this stuff. Shout out to Anna and Fulgens, on the behalf with ECAMM community. They specifically tell you how to work the ECAMM software and do all the flying across the screen and stuff. But then there's an extension where there are people that sit down and they do this stuff. They've done it and they can help you get it right, where we can't really take up all the time in ECAMM because we want to leave it specific to what's going on with ECAMM. I'm talking like this because I am on YouTube as well as ECAMM, because we have the power to do it in both spaces. Okay. Now, okay, still good, but that lens you make, that you use, makes it look 100 times better. Okay. Might have to get one after my trip to Japan. Got you. Good Lord. I want to go to Japan too. My goodness. Who's going to Japan? Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I'm backed up. But, okay. This video has helped my TS4 issues, but not entirely. Okay. I'm sending it back. All right. Check this out. If that's you, Lionel, check with Doc Rock. Maybe just reach out to him and get the specs on it, because I know he has it. I don't have it. Okay. So if you feel like sending it back, cool. If you're getting a TS3, got you. You may or may not have to do that. This is the one thing I always encourage in the community. Talk to people that know, right? If you don't have what they have, don't let them tell you too much about it unless they had it, so you don't make the mistake. Okay. Tamron 11 to 20, boom, APS-C, mirrorless. There you go. That's it, Doc. Put the links up there, okay? Okay. I pulls it down a quarter stop because it's a black Pro Miss. 1.14. Got you. Thank you. Okay. Right. You said heavy hitters in the building. Yeah. Hold on. Hold. Yeah. How about that? Hang on there, sir. You should already have the daggone thing. I don't know what's wrong with this guy. He should already have this. Ladies and gentlemen, if he's at his desk, we will be favored with some more. Since we live, y'all, let's just go ahead and keep going, okay? Let me see. 1, 2, 3. Where's my Jedi Council? And Jedi Council, boom, be my daggone guest. All right. Now, what other questions we got here? There we go. See that? The link is in the comments section. Ladies and gentlemen, and this, I want y'all to do this. If you are not in this, you wants to get up in the community, okay? So I'm just going to bring in, and I'm going to put this camera overlay in the best spot possible, and I'm going to just put it where it don't even take you out of the picture. What's going on, handsome?
Yard. What's talking like it?
What's going on, handsome? Enlighten the ladies and gentlemen's up on the Let's Get Live. Let's go, man.
Let's make this easy for people because I understand, probably my fault, but we get mad one-dimensional thinking when we start thinking about this. So Augustus and whoever else is having trouble, check this move out. You have a Mac, and your Mac comes with Thunderbolt ports, okay? On the original M1 joints, those are Thunderbolt 3 USB 4. On the second series of M1s, basically meaning MacBook Pros and Mac Studio, you have like legit whole cloth Thunderbolt 4 ports. On the newest joints, you got Thunderbolt 4 ports. What happened was when the second gen came out, like everybody that bought a MacBook Pro 14, 16, or Mac Studio, actually only MacBook Pros, anybody that brought the last year's version of M1 MacBook, 14 or 16, your machine and the CalDigit Thunderbolt 4, TS4, they don't like each other. And the funny thing is, it's not even really CalDigit. This is some Illmatic mess that Elgato did that you probably won't have if you got another device. However, this is mad easily solvable, fam. Mad easily solvable. I could crank my own volume up. I got
Yeah, go ahead.
Dave,
Boost it, man.
I just did. Dave over here talking spicy in the chat. Okay, so look here. This is an Anchor Thunderbolt 4 hub. You know, I don't like Anchor. All right, cool. Let me get a different brand. Where my OWC went? I got all of them. I got every brand that was ever made, so it don't matter. Look, here's a pluggable version. You can buy whatever. Just get a Thunderbolt hub. This is different from a dock. The problem you got with the docks is
no pun intended. No pun intended.
Yeah, not me. Them with the K in it, right? Some of them is mad faulty, right? So if you take a Thunderbolt hub and plug it into the dock and then put your cam links over here, it's a whole different ball game. So the TS4 is a legit hub. Mine is sitting right here, right? But if you have a desktop, you don't have any of these issues. But if you have a laptop, the issue persists. So how you can solve this problem? Step one, get another hub. You can daisy chain these 127 deep. Okay? You can have 128 Thunderbolt ports on a single machine just by daisy chaining them. Okay? So on my machine sitting right here, there is the CalDigit TS4. There's also the CalDigit Element Hub, right? Actually,
there we go.
I have two CalDigit Element Hubs, and I've always stated that I had both. But what happened is some of y'all see price tags and start having children, and hey, I'm sorry. Like, if you get the right product, you'll be fine. And it's okay. Like, I understand some of this madness gets out of hand. Okay, so here's another opportunity. Take the cam link that you got and put that joint on somebody's, ECAMM trade-in post and get yourself one of these. This is an Elgato HD60X, right? This does a couple things for your brain cells. It connects to your computer right there, but you can put an HDMI on this side, and you can take an HDMI out, which means you can send that to another monitor behind you like DJ Strick, or like another thing that you look at, like, you know, I just took off my teleprompter today so I can clean it, and I never did get it back over there yet. Okay, so you can use that because that'll give you an HDMI out. This operates a little bit different from that cam link. That cam link that we have, I think what freezes everybody's brain cells is it comes with a USB-A connection.
Yep.
Fully understood.
Yep.
Right? Let me get this. Y'all know I got all kind of secret stash up in here. Right? Okay. So it comes with a USB-A connection, but ain't nobody said you got to use that. I mean, we live in a modern society, right? So this is what comes in the package, right? This USB-A, this USB-A. Take this right here.
Throw it in the trash.
Away.
Come on.
Right. Actually, don't, because
hold on to it just in case.
It's a good extended look. Look at here. Now you can plug it in any which way you want to any other place you want. This little adapter right here costs about $3. I buy them in packs of 10 because I keep giving them away. All right? And this one is solid metal. But look, all you gotta do is this here. And number one, you got more space because this is much skinnier to fit in your machine. Number two, you are not relegated to using them USB-A ports, which by nature do not have as much power. Because everything that was invented back in the day of USB-A ain't need this kind of power.
So, Doc, here's something that okay, now that I got you on here, I just want to dig into your brain a little bit, and I don't know if there's a right answer. Huh?
I grew up in Southeast DC. It's dangerous in here.
So there's no right answer. So put it this way: you and I, we will figure it out. Like iron sharpens iron. So I'm gonna look at like. You and I can say, oh, Aperture just came out with some new lights, and I'm sitting there like we're all scoping each other to see who's got the lights flying around their room or something like that, because that's what we do, right? But then there are people that are like, okay, if y'all did it, how'd you do it? Like once you come to Philly, you can walk in my room just like India, like Kurt, just take a glance around and be like, okay, I see what you did there, right?
Yes.
People, but the average person is going to say, I'm seeing what you did on the stream. They'll hear us say certain things and then they get it and somehow it doesn't work. So the thing with me was, I don't know. That's why I always reach out to you, because I don't know how to explain it all. And I don't explain what I can explain. But here's the thing. You told me about the Element Hub, right? I got the Element Hub and I didn't need it, but I got it, right? And I don't have any problems. I got 7 of them little cam links. I got the older version of what you just showed sitting in the box that I have to use that when my client comes in and says, hey, I want to pull my PowerPoint out of my computer, put it on your ECAMM screen and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, cool. And for some reason, the HD 60 whatever works for it, where the regular cam link will be like, God, and it'll just choke.
Yeah.
So
it's just certain cameras are like that though, and this is the crazy thing. When I first got my A7 IV, my cam link hated it.
Okay, got you.
I don't know, have no idea why. My cam link was not liking my A7 IV. So what that told me is that whatever's coming in that HDMI signal going to the cam link from the A7 IV was pissing off the cam link.
Got you.
What I did was I moved that camera to this, and it was fine, just like you say. But then later on, I just come to the conclusion that especially if your light is on but your signal is black, or you're seeing the Elgato logo, it's probably because your cam link has enough power to turn on, but it doesn't have enough power to send
push
the sync handshake. So when you plug it in the first time, you plug the cable in, it goes bling, 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 boom, picture. Right?
Yep.
It's sending a signal. Camlink is like, who are you? He'd be like, yo, I'm Sony A6400. He like, all right, bet, I got that, right? Or it might be like, who you? I'm Sony A7 IV. Camlinks were invented in 2017. It don't have no dang clue what an A7. It be, who? You like, I'm A7 IV, fool. He'd be like, I don't know you. He's like, man, I'm Sony. You know, I'm A6100 cutting them. And he's like, oh, okay, fam, I got you. Then it'll link up. So you do have to remember that we keep saying Camlink, 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 Camlink.
Right.
I just told Adrian, if you saw that chat, I'm like, Adrian, I'm gonna stop telling people CAMM-Link. Why?
Right.
Because the CAMM-Link product is 5 years old right now, and he's stupid. Okay.
Yep.
So I got 7, 8 of them. I'm with you. I'm not ready to throw them all away, but I have been looking this week for new devices.
Yeah.
That are not CAMM-Link, because until Elgato stopped playing us, right?
Yep.
We done gave them all this money during the pandemic.
Yes.
We treated them like kings.
They were selling them joints like crack.
Right? We recommend them to everybody. We recommend them, everybody. Just like, when they be selling them Jordan almonds in church so you can get that money for the school trip. Right? Like, since 2017 when the 4K came out, the original joint came out like 2013. How do you have a product 5 years old and you haven't blessed us any better yet?
Right.
How have you had a product and you haven't updated it to a USB-C connection? Right? You're picking up a 4K signal. Why haven't you moved this to like a better connection? Why haven't you made Thunderbolt versions? Why haven't you made an external box version similar to this that could take 4 things, so I don't have to buy a deck link? It's obvious that they're possible, because deck links have been out forever in the broadcast space.
Yes.
So not to hate on them, but Elgato need to step up. They've been getting away with buying, arms from some other company and slapping their name on it. Now, I used Elgato products way back on my Power PC back in the day. They had like dope H.264 converters and stuff. They was top of the food chain at one point. Now they're kind of resting on their laurels because they linked up with Corsair, and Corsair gave them that PC love. PC users, they got all the ports in the world, all this other weird stuff, but they basically stream games, right?
Well, look, the CAMM-Link Pro, right? I was going to try that because I'm doing setups for people, and I'm just like, y'all not going to hire me, and I'm going to sit here and just have y'all with like 8 CAMM-Links, right? 4Ks, because I'm like, I'm not going to be hired to put somebody's studio together and then that joint tank on me, because I'm looking in the community and seeing people struggling with just putting 2 CAMM-Links on the same setup. And I'm just like, what is the little caveat there? And
what is an ill move there? Why should I have to go backwards to the TS3?
Right.
A year and a half ago, Cal Digit bumped us up to the TS4. Elgato has not made any changes whatsoever to step their game up to us. So, that one dude that be like in the second and third row, Clavel? Everybody got a Clavel in church, right?
Right.
He got the yellow polyester slacks with the powder blue patent leather shoes, got a little stick with an eagle on the head.
Right.
Be like this.
Yep.
Right? Elgato still think they Clavel. They was cool back in the day, but they not stepping up. So on Amazon, I've been looking. It's weird because I gotta buy one to test it out. I found a product that had the HDMI in, the HDMI pass through. That means that we can get what we get. It had the USB connection to the computer, but it had its own separate power jack. Like you have to plug it in to a 5-volt adapter. So that means, to me, in my brain, that's going to eliminate some of these problems. Now, right now, they're being mostly sold to Switch users because the Nintendo Switch doesn't send out enough power in their HDMI in order to make them work with most of the modern capture joints. So it's called the Mirror Box. I found another one called, they're all weird, no names. But you know what? Until Elgato slapped their name on a box from Hauppauge, old school name, some people might know. Nobody knew who they was neither. So one of these cats out here, these other guys that are making stuff, they might end up taking over Elgato shorts because they're just enjoying the loot and they're not giving back. I'm sorry. I hate to say it, but they should be updating their tech, especially with all the modern stuff we got out now. Right?
Yeah.
But they're buying arms and slap their name on it. They buy a Lewitt microphone and slap their name on it. You know what I mean? Like, they stopped producing. Now they're just just like Puffy. They're like Puffy.
just pimping it.
Be all up in the video.
And you know what? It's like, I feel for people because on another level, some of the people that are hitting, it's a lot of churches and affiliates starting to use ECAMM, right? and they're jumping that ECAMM. Now, honestly, no offense to ECAMM, but my church had Black Magic forever, right? That's kind of weird to say it, but the church with Black Magic. Most people's like,
That's
what
how
you got Black Magic in
got
church for?
famous.
And it's
That's
like,
how they got famous.
dude, we was, before my pop passed away, I learned that Black Magic system with the double screens and, all of this stuff. And then when pandemic hit, that's when I found ECAMM, and I'm like, how do you do this? I looked up, got on the cam links, and I was basically trying to make the ECAMM do what the Black Magic software was doing. Then you got ATEMs and all of that. Here's the thing. People love ECAMM. ECAMM is to that point where bigger level productions are like, yo, we like what this can do. And one of the things that people just love is when I hit a button, I want that camera on that scene. I don't want to go to the scene and then try to throw the camera on there. So people like us, we go through it, and that's where I'm sitting there like, I'm going to try the deck link. And I seen one of the guys in the community was like, look, I've been on a deck link for a minute. So the next question I asked, and your brother was, we were talking back and forth. I'm like, I want to know if I get the Acatio or whatever you call it, right? That enclosure. What's the name of it?
It's Acatito.
Okay,
so that's
Acatito.
OWC. Acatito and OWC are, like connected, right? But you could pick any enclosure. Sonic Technologies, that one. Even Razer, which is mostly a PC gamer one, they all work because it's just a box and a power supply.
Okay, so one of us going to do it.
Look of Acatito.
Okay, so one of us going to do it. Somebody going to do it. One of us geeks are going to do it. But here's the thing. What do you feel about that enclosure? Because I've seen people say they pull it off with the enclosure with one slot. Do you think it's possible we can grab the 2 slots and get 2 deck links in there and have 8 cameras?
Oh no. Hey no. I haven't even thought about that. You know what? I'll ask Ken because we have one in the office, but it's a Sonic Technologies box with a single deck link in it. In theory, it should work. Because that's just how they're addressed, right? If you get a dual box will have dual power supply, and it will have 2 independent PCI lanes.
Yep.
You will plug 2 Thunderbolt cables into your machine. So the way it would just see that dual box, it will see that dual box as 2 separate boxes.
Because that's going to be it. That's going to be the move. When you come to Philly, that the spot in Philly should be up. By the time you finish traveling the damn planet and you get around here in these streets, you go walk in the studio, man. Shout out to my man Darrell Bottoms. He actually is building one of the craziest spots with the Adam Blackstone. If you know who that name is, Adam Blackstone will actually be here at the Convos in 2 weeks, and so I'm excited to have him on here. But what's
mad, about that setup is what you would be able to pull off would be as incredible. But I just want to let everybody know before because we always get yelled at, Keith, you and I, because
of course
about stuff, and they be like, "Oh, that's so expensive." I mean, but like, is it though? Like, first of all, it comes out. What do you say? The total cost is $800, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the box and that and a couple cables. All right, so it's 800 bones. If I'm doing this as a business, there's not many of business expenses at 800 bones that you could do to improve your business that ain't worth it. If it is, I mean, like, even if I'm selling Girl Scout cookies, I could spend 800 bones and get that right back because everybody loves a Thin Mint.
Mm-hmm.
So I cram to understand the people that be like, oh, I had my most important stream. This is my business. But then we tell them, well, you can solve that by getting this, piece of $800 hardware or this camera. And I don't know about that. And it's all right. Well, then I guess you're not that invested. So I don't want to tell people to do that because only if you have the CalDigit TS4 and you have the 2nd or 3rd edition MacBook notebook,
nice.
You need to bother with this. If you're on a Mac Mini or a Mac Studio or one of the desktops, you probably don't have these issues. And if you have a different brand of hub, like OWC, you probably don't have these issues. So it's really just for some reason, and I know it's not CalDigit because we've been through the loop with them on this, and CalDigit been in this game, like way, way, way back in the day.
There was some OG stuff with it.
They were very expensive. You know, they were the most expensive drives you could get for anybody doing media. So Cal Digit ain't the new kids on the block neither. So it's not them. I don't know.
It's just crazy that people are having this problem. And I like, I was basically saying what you normally say about community that you taught us about. And shouting out ECAMM is just doing what we were doing when the pandemic started, and giving and providing different perspectives, angles, and stuff like that. But definitely, people do get on that high and they jump straight into, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that. And then as soon as you say the price, they go, ooh, ouch. Shout out to a brother, a friend of mine, but he's like, yo, I gotta get my stuff up. And this dude, like Urban Fryer, went and got like 3 ZVE 10s, right? Just right off the back. And then I'm like, well, you're gonna need a element hub. And they like, how much is that? Ouch. I'm like, how you gonna say ouch? You just bought 3 cameras that just right under a G. It's like, well, I got the cameras because I want to do the angles. I'm like, you worried about doing angles, but you want to get a computer with like 8 megabytes on it. Like, come on, dude, make it make sense. You know what I'm saying?
You know what it is, right? Because when these first popped off, they was like $200, and I don't think people understand. There's a lot of tech in this. You know what it is? When you see a box with no buttons. Mm-hmm. And just you like, how can that be $200?
Right.
The chips and the licensing in here. All right, let me see. This is a true factual statement, right? I forgot who said this, but it was like, when the technology is really good, when it works so well, is undiscernible from magic, right? Mm-hmm. That's what this box is. There's a lot of tech in this box. So yeah, don't look at this like, oh, $200 for that. I don't even got no buttons to press. That's why it's good. You don't got to press nothing. You ain't got to set nothing. Plug it in. Game over. You know what I mean?
There it is. Man. I love this technology stuff, man. I just love helping folk. But did you want to like tell people what Let's Get Live is about if they don't know? Because I think ECAMM is getting a lot of traffic, where the reason why Let's Get Live exists is to kind of funnel that space of go live in here and work the kinks out. Let people see you live with in the darkness while you're trying to figure out your light. I think some people, they jump into ECAMM, then they push the live button because they see themselves on the screen with a little crispy look, and then they go, oh damn, this ain't work, that ain't work. You gotta test this stuff, and you have to be in a community that people are just gonna give you the real. All right.
The best way I can explain it, Keith, is the ECAMM community in general is for people that want to cook like Rachel Ray. Right? You just a cook. I can make what I make. What I make is good. People love it. Right?
Got it.
Let's Get Live is the Culinary Institute of America. Like, you coming to learn how to be a chef. Right? So if your only job is I just want to cook, I'm definitely not that dude. Like, I'm not, I can coach anyone, but I tend to fall in love with and want to coach the people that full on want to be a chef, because I have a mission, right? My mission is to positively impact the lives of over 1 billion people. I can't cook that much fried chicken, so I got to invent more chefs. So when I see like you and Kirk and Marshall, Alicio, India, Diana, like all of the people that I've been able to bless with my thoughts, and they could turn around and bless more folks.
Yes.
Right. I'm inventing the live streaming evangelism sect of this joint, or the content creation evangelism sect. I am running you through, basically the pastorals of learning how to tell better stories and engage people and make people happy. And if anything I can teach, like anybody from Augustus to Lionel to, Dave Harvey, even Carlos Los just showed up. Like, whatever I can teach you that helps you do what you do better, then I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? I was wasting my talent just playing music for 3,000 people, 4,000 people in the club. And I was like,
that ain't wasting.
That ain't wasting. True. because they was having a good old time. I'm gonna let you know. I made food sweat. I just got these new clothes and you got me out here dripping. you know what I'm saying? I was playing Keith's tracks. That's why. Every time we hit him a little Teddy Riley and guy. It's just
so it is in the comment section, Netfield Experience. So it is called. Let me put it. Doc, can you put it back in the comment and you put it in there. If you scroll up, it's in there. Oh, he's on YouTube. Yeah. He's on YouTube. Yeah. That's the reason why.
I'm on YouTube.
You're on YouTube. Okay.
If you're on Facebook, just search "Let's Get Live VIP." You'll see it. There's a picture.
So Netfield, if you are ECAMmer too, and if you're in Let's Get Live, you don't have to be an ECAMmer, I don't think, right? You don't have to be an ECAMmer.
No. I mean, I'm teaching anybody that wants to get into the content creation. So, I mean, that was one of the benefits of like even being employed at ECAMM, because it gave me an opportunity to even help those foods, who wouldn't be able to get like private coaching or whatever, right? So ECAMM is like, hey, you come and do that over here too. All right, bet. I'm good. I'm just happy. I'm just happy to teach people this because everybody got something to say. Everybody got a good story. Everybody has somebody looking at them, to come through, right? So, like, I mean, I love, man, when we get a chance to link up and meet up in real life, folks, and then, talk story, and you feel like you've been riding with these people forever.
Yep.
You know what I mean? When I get to meet Kurt and Diana and Kenya, and we all go out, Mr. Cameron Junkie, get some Jamaican food, man, when you see Kurt switch from "Hi, I'm Kurt Nugget, this is how it works. The light you can only be the putty of that bread, the brown stew." I'm like, "What'd you say, Kurt?" I was like, "Oh snap!" I know Kurt was Jamaican. I thought it was just his brother Jeffrey, but he like, "Let me tell you about it. Let me come in with the browns. Let me get a little cocoa bread and and then I don't put out of your white on me. I mean a straight one like that, and that with a sorrel tea." I'm like, blood clot. It was glorious. It was glorious. You know what I mean? So I think that what you do, Keith, when you come on and try to explain things, I created a monster when I came in because I was showing people how to just want to go straight to the top. Mm-hmm. But I realized how faulty that is because a bunch of people bought stuff and got frustrated, right? So now I'm like back to just do everything with your phone until you got that mastered, and then go get yourself a camera. Mm-hmm. And when you got the kit lens mastered, then you can buy a Sigma. There's no need for you to do like your friend and go spend all of that at once unless you got that kind of paper.
I mean, Irvin survived it, but it's like the other one was like, yo. And I'm like, dude, turn the other two off. And let's just work with the one.
I mean, Irvin played in the Super Bowl. He could do what he wants.
Right. He figured it out. Irvin's like, oh, I got it. I got the other camera over here. I got the drone. I almost lost it in the ocean. I'm like, dude, like, he can fart around and do that. But I'm like, everybody ain't built like that to be spending that. It's like, yo. And here's the funny thing. Like I said, I don't care, ECAMM plug or not. But I'm just saying this. The worst thing is when people go, I think I'm gonna get the entry version of it, and I'm like, the way you talking already, you bought it because you want you want to bring in 20 clients, you want to do all this and that, and you trying to find the cheapest version of ECAMM. I'm like, listen, step number one is get it, because like you say, you're actually getting the most bang for your buck in this community. Because we answer questions that ECAMM ain't required to answer, right? We give off enough that if you join into the join in on Let's Get Live, or you access those people that do the master classes, they've already proven themselves. They've already showed, and there's all of us that can vouch for it. I've learned a ton of stuff from Doc Wright. We call Doc the bishop of it, but he will fairly say, we have a community of iron sharpens iron. He's been in the game for God knows how long. He names stuff that we don't know. Most of the time, if I name a camera, he's like, oh, I got it underneath the chair here. And I'm like, damn, you got that. it's like, we go deep with this stuff, people. And so this is not a fluff community of just trying to spin it. And Doc, I appreciate your honesty on saying, because, it was a time I was going to pull your coattail and be like, Doc, yo, dude, these people ain't as deep as you with this. Like, yo, you losing this because you know this stuff. We seen your old YouTube, some of us, and it's like, damn, this dude been in the game for a minute. You was modest, just like me. I'm just like, I'll do a little music production. You like, this Negro was round with this, that, and the third. There's a lot of us that come in this community that do that, and we've all grown and gotten to the place to say, yeah, we got cam links all over the place. Doc got cameras and lenses on the floor over here and there, but it's just like, how can we help you? What's the one thing you're trying to do? And pay attention when we saying, listen, I'm going to tell y'all something about Doc. Let me just say this real quick, and Doc, I'm going to say it for you. I've said to people, here's something that's going to bless you, because you know how me and you do. We get a little sneaker preach in there, right? This was one of the dopest things that somebody said. They said, be careful of doing what people tell you to do. Do what they do. Let that sink in real quick, people. They said, watch what they do and do what they do rather than what they tell you to do. Most of the time, what people tell you to do when you're not asking is the sales pitch. But if you watch what they actually do, you'll actually grow and learn. So most people, if you watch Doc Rock can do 20 cameras in his room if he want to. But most of the time when you see him, what do you see? You see Doc right here. See him right here. You don't see him changing a ton of angles and stuff. Now, you see me, I'm going to do different angles because I'm a knucklehead, right? That's what I do. But if you watch me on certain things, I will literally sit in this one camera here and I'm like, oh, I forgot I got other cameras in the room. Y'all got what I'm saying? So it's like he was a DJ. So he's got music for days. I'm a music producer, got music for days. But do you see us on here doing that all the time? No. Sometimes you got to just watch what people do. And sometimes you can do what they do. You'll see us simplify. You'll see us just like narrow it in. Don't chase the knuckleheads that's always telling you what to do without you asking, hey, what do I need to do? And get honest answers. So I'm just sorry I had to drop that nugget in there.
No, it's brilliant, fam. That is such a true statement. Because look, I tell you what, I grew up with a family of folks that could cook. So I can cook pretty good. But you know what I love to go home and do? Fresh Wonder bread and peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Come on. Wait, real quick. Peanut butter on both slices or one?
No, I put peanut butter on one, but it got to be chunky though, because that's just me. Okay. And then I put my jelly on the next side. Okay. And yeah, I buy all kind of bougie stuff, but when it comes to jelly, it's just Smuckers. Stop trying to get cute with the jelly. I don't need no other brands, no other brands. It's Smuckers. Yeah, man, I love it. A good old Smuckers peanut butter jelly. Welch's great. Nothing funny. I be like, oh, I got this, charcuterie board jelly. Nah, fam, give me something.
You just dropped some knowledge right there. Sometimes you just got peanut butter and jelly alive. That's a new one right there. You just got peanut butter and jelly alive.
It is true, right? It's funny because, like, when people learn that you can do animations, the number one question that I get in the chat is, how can you do a transition thing? And I'm like, you've been watching the OBS people do that. And yes, we can do it. It requires a couple of different steps. But for what? Like, what do you do the transition for? Like, oh, I want to do this kind of animation, that kind of, okay, cool, but I want to know why. Like, what value will that bring to your users? Not will that value bring to your vanity. Let's run that back. What value will that bring to your users?
Wow.
Right? If you just want to be cute, you can pay me. I can build you a whole show. I can make you look like Oatmeal Winfrey. Mm-hmm. But if you want to provide value to your users, you should be able to know your topic inside out, upside down, backwards, and sideways. If you know your topic inside out, upside down, backwards, and sideways, you should have no fear of the camera, no fear of the ums and ahs, all of those other things that people be talking about. That comes from not being clear on your message, not fully understanding your purpose, and not fully understanding what you're talking about.
There it is.
When you clear, you clear.
There it is. Camera. lights, ECAMM, audio to your record. Yes, clear. Come on, people.
Did he come up with that?
Yes.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Dang, kid, that is good.
Yeah, clear. See, and ECAMM is the biggest thing. I got it in the on the live thing. That's what I put on there. Clear.
Yo.
Camera,
so
lights,
good.
ECAMM, audio, and the R I just said record. Like, get it recorded. Like, put it out there. Let's go. He said, I feel my help coming. Lionel, Lionel's another like Lemuel a little bit. He got a little limb in him, right? Lemon drop. Like, listen, yeah, we get them. Listen, Doc will fool you. Doc he got a lot of preach in him. Don't get it twisted, okay? He's he got a lot of preach in him. Don't get it twisted.
Hey,
What's the movie where the Reverend had
grandma.
what was it? The fish that saved Pisces? When
the fish that saved Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, yeah, remember?
Yes.
He came out
good.
he had his basketball joint on under the robe. He came out.
Hey, Coaches. Yo, I can't believe you pulled that out, kid.
Dude,
That is such a fantastic movie.
Yeah, I forgot all about that movie, man. Okay, we got a question here. Sports should ask the question.
What's up, Al? That's Al.
Oh, that's Al? Okay.
Yeah,
so,
sports.
okay, guys, El Gato, I say Guapo, El Gato, multi-cards or Black Magic Deck Link Quad Capture Card. I'm in the market to add HDMI camera inputs to ECAMM. So you just got in here probably. Doc already went over it. I think mostly, who is it? I forgot who that is. I see you on James 6 Live. They have Deck Link. I would not do the Elgato Pro. I think that's what you're talking about. You still have to get an enclosure for it. And the reviews I saw on it, and it's suspect because it doesn't cost that much. It's less than half the price of a Deck Link. And it's got 4 inputs. I've heard it skips like hell. It's jacked up, and that's not your route to go. You're better off to just get 4 cam links. But if you're serious about it, I have 7 cam links on here. It's working, but I'm not pitching that to everybody because I see people with problems. I did a setup for somebody, and I had to go through hell to figure out how to get his 3 cam links to work. We got it, but it's a nightmare you don't want to deal with.
If let me explain this real clearly. If ATEM came out with a 4K version, it's a wrap. The only reason why I gave back I got an ATEM Mini, I rocked that joint for like a week, and I was like, nope. And that's because me personally, I want all my recorders in 4K. Because for me personally, the repurpose angle is hyper important.
Got
right?
you. I agree.
Explain to you how crazy my repurpose ability is. Right here off to the side of me, there is a Synology 48 terabyte RAID that has 4 empty bays. So I'm about to turn it into 96 terabytes. Yesterday, cleaning up my machine, the content that I created in 2022 that I just moved from one place in the RAID to the next place was about 26 terabytes worth of video. Okay? So like I make a lot of video and I want it to be in 4K because I never know when they need a clip for this, or, you know, sometimes I go to do an event and they want to put a reel together. They're going to play that reel before you walk on the stage. Like, I can't give them a 720 clip to be shown on a, 180-foot screen. That's when it's going to look saucy, right? So I record everything. Even me clowning around, I'm recording it in 4K. Okay, that's just me. You don't have to do that. If you want the simplest, easiest way to connect 4 cameras or 8 cameras, you get an ATEM Mini or an ATEM Mini Extreme, and you're done. Game over. On the ATEM Mini ISO, you could actually plug a hard drive on the back of it and get all the recordings that you want. So, I just refuse to do that.
Got you.
Okay?
Wait a minute.
I don't eat broccoli neither, so don't come at me.
So wait a minute. This is let me get this name right. Sashong Victor, right? And you're saying I'll need to test my Elgato Pro. So let's be on the same page though. Are you talking about the Pro with 4 inputs and you have it in a PCIe enclosure? Because if you got that and it's working, I want to know. Especially if you
Peter Gregg did it. Luis's homie Peter Gregg, he does like the Christmas thing. He did that like almost 2 years ago.
Okay, with the Pro with the 4 slots on it. Listen,
but see, if you got to know how to go in the terminal and do a special hardware check and stuff. Again, I know how to do it. But I don't know how to do that.
Boom. Okay, good. I'm glad you said that, because I even know in DeckLink users, maybe you can just fact check me on this. I'm not sure, but I think I read where somebody's like, you just have to call and they have to do, or maybe it was the CamLink Pro, where they were like, you had to get on the phone with them and they tell you to do one of the little terminal something so that you can disarm somebody.
We added support for DeckLink. So if you look at, nobody ever reads these things, but I read manuals. On the ECAMM 4.0, one of the things we added was support for DeckLink Quad. It's written in Ken's handwriting. So we support DeckLink Quad. Read the manual, people, but we just over here writing manuals for no reason.
Look, so wait a minute. Okay, Radar Apologetics, shout out to you. Maybe you watch me on Sundays. I see the word apologetics, so you say grace and peace to the live stream. Got you. This is the tech time. Sundays I'm live. I mean, I am in a little bit of apologetics, but so wait a minute. Victor throws in here, but you say you got a PC. We're talking Mac here with ECAMM. So maybe you're going to try it in your Mac on your ECAMM if you have the enclosure to do it.
It's the same card. Like, it is legit made for PCs. But the thing that I think is so crazy, which is why it's so irritating, that Elgato, this Elgato.
Got you. Elgato, listen to Doc
made
Rock.
For PCs, right? But from 2007, when we switched to Intel, we run the exact same kit they run. The only difference between making something Mac compatible and PC compatible is writing it on the box. And Macs don't even use drivers. You don't have to write drivers. We just plug stuff in. So maybe they would have had to make a little thing that you would click that would automatically do those terminal commands for you and set you up, and make another one that would remove them. That's the only requirement. But they just don't do that. They don't want to pay the $100 for a developer license. I really don't understand, because it's silly. Or a lot of PC company manufacturers of all myriad stuff, especially in the music industry. Yo, remember how the music stuff started out on Mac? It was Atari first. That didn't last. So everybody went to the Mac because it was the best option. Then all of a sudden, when PCs got to the point where normal people would buy them and they were affordable, and compacts and HPs and whatnot, all the music company was like, oh, this girl got prettier hair than them. I ain't listening to her no more. And they just started ignoring us. So, like, even to this day, half of the music stuff rolling, like, don't always work properly on the Mac. Yo, we put you in the game, player. We got you them suits. We bought you the money to get your church together so you can get up there and preach. And now you find a pretty something in the congregation called PC and just ignoring us? I'm sorry, I feel a type of way about that. Adobe, you too. You on that list. You on the list to start looking at PC users and saw cha-ching. But you know what Mac users always had over PC users? And this is just a generality, so don't come at me. We've always had bigger budgets because our machines cost more. We also are willing to pay for stuff because the majority of people in the Mac community are actually producing something.
Got you.
That was the whole reason why you got a Mac. You produce magazines, you produce video, you produce photographers, or, you were producing something. We weren't just running to do office work. Not that many people bought Macs to do office work.
Absolutely.
Back in the day,
absolutely.
when it was constrained, we were buying Macs to do everything. When Steve came back, Steve was like, let me fix this. We're going to make Macs available to everybody, and we're going to get to them through the iPod and the iPhone.
It's when Cubase got jacked for their design, and everybody jumped on that linear thing. Because I was using Atari 1040 STE, and then next thing you know, it was like everything started shifting over to that Mac, and it was over. It was over. It was over like a wrap. So Elgato just being lazy, because I guarantee you the fact that Peter Gregg and a couple other people have done the Elgato Pro in a chassis and made it work, they could just make this easy, but they just hard-headed. Because I wanted to do the chassis.
Already in the chassis. Bro,
I was going to do it for the sake of the peoples, right? I was going to do it for the sake of the people and then say, hey, I can vouch for this works, but then y'all got me thinking about that DeckLink. And I'm like, yeah, I got to do a couple more sessions to get me the DeckLink and the enclosures and all of that stuff. And for whatever reason, there's that need. So look, sidebar, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take note that we have not been switching around a ton of cameras, right? So you don't really have to do it. Like, we do camera switching for purpose. Like Doc, I can't wait for you to come in Philly. Like the table setup, I got a session next week, and I actually did it. It's on my YouTube where I use the desk, right? I set it up like that for a reason. So a lot of times I was telling people, it's what I said earlier. Watch what the person does, not just what people tell you to do. Because sometimes people tell you to do stuff so that you can be the test dummy for it. You understand what I'm saying? But if you watch what they do, you know that it works. What you got there, man?
This is from 2000.
That's Black Magic, right?
2008.
Wow.
You heard me?
I remember that.
This
and look at
was
the port
the
in
Black
the back.
Magic design intensity, right? This went to a cable that turns into like 15 other cables
Yes.
for the red, white, and yellow audio, or the RGB, Y plus B, R
Dude, I
plus C,
feel
the component.
you.
But it had HDMI in, HDMI out. This was allow you to connect, some other breakout stuff like audio cables, XLRs, and all of that. And it went to like the old Thunderbolt 1, right? So this ain't nothing new, fam. Like, and again, Elgato, they was back there making stuff back then, right? Elgato and Hapag were the only two in the game. Black Magic and Matrox was on the pro level. Elgato and Hapag was making it for normal folks. I don't know at what point when Corsair bought them, Corsair gave them the money and was like, listen, we need you to make everything PC focused. So they married the wrong folk.
Yeah, because we were running it was the TV studio Black Magic. We had that thing, and we had a box for live stream, but we got a Mac for it. So I'm talking Mac Mini from 2012 or something, way back when, right? We were running this stuff. So that's why when I met all you guys and somebody was like, oh, the ATEM, I'm like, wait a minute, that's Black Magic. I'm like, I know this stuff, like, and yeah. I need somebody that I'm reachable to. I don't know all these big YouTubers that do it, but I've seen some messed up reviews on the Camlink Pro. But again, because I do realize some people do want at least 3 cameras, right? At least 3. So, with that, and it just, Doc, let me just do this. Here's my one little thing. Just because you can make it work, you got to know that you can work it, right? Sometimes because here's the thing, I said this on another live. The reason why I got into the room cam shot, I got that from Felicia. Remember, I was doing more than one cam, but it's when Felicia was like, hey, I plugged up my GoPro, and I'm like, you did? I'm like, how'd you do it?
Oh,
and
we was all watching that. That was
I was like, I got the GoPro, and I hooked it up, but I was like, I'm always using it, so I'm like, yo, the battery ain't long enough, and that's when I got into the other cameras and stuff. But just because I could make the GoPro work doesn't mean that that's a fix. So
you know what's funny you say that, dude? Now that I think about it, Sister Felicia is the one that made all of us clean our room, get our lights together, and start because at first it was Linwell with his one photography light and the one backdrop. It was me, right? It was me with my one photography light. I had my Stella, which is like a really ignorant, like $1,500 photography light. I had that posted up. And then we was just coming here just looking cool. And then Felicia came out with her little books and her little yellow things in the back. And then we was like,
this is Felicia.
Right, how y'all doing today? Yo, we all cleaned our room. We all knocked the dust off, the trophies in the back, the family picture. I had the old Eastern Star Bible. I had to, take the dust off real quick, line them up.
Oh, man.
Felicia was the one that got everybody cleaning their house. So, you know what I mean? Come on with it.
Lim is the guy, man. When I do a darker shot or I dim the lights in here on purpose, it's like my Lim feel. I call it my Limuel feel.
Bruh. That video you made with the dark joints, all the T-shirts back in the day, yo, I still remember that joint was so good.
Oh, because you know what? Because we had that community of fun and experimentation, and I think there were people that benefited from that community. So here's what I didn't see. If we were like a class and we were the class of 2020, right, with COVID, it's kind of like class of 2021 never like came out or came to school and graduated, because I was thinking we was going to sit back and see the next community of, and it's not like somebody has to be the new Doc, the new Keith, the new Lem, the new, Marshall, the new Alicia. It's not that. Everybody's their own individual, but what's that next class? Or it's like if we were like the Chicago Bulls, you know what I'm saying? Like who's the 76ers of the 2020s or something? Like that's what I was looking for. And I'm like, some kind of way everybody got into chasing the gadgets that we missed the essence of just streaming. Because here's a point. You've been on gadgets. You got a ton of gadgets around you. But when the pandemic came, it was kind of like this new, not new Doc, but the more of what was already in you. It was that season to come out and blow.
It was my opportunity.
Yeah, it was the opportunity. So it was like, it kind of goes to show that chasing the stuff wasn't it. It's, especially if that's not you. We do that kind of stuff. Like, used to dig for records. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'll sit and sample 20,000 drum kits to get that one snare. That's built in me. But then there's the Tinas. Then there's the other presenters and stuff that's like, Tina's about to do a whole podcast thing. You think Tina going to sit here and play with a stream deck? I'm done. I got to produce her show, because Tina going to sit in the chair, get her glass of wine and be like, well, I'm talking in this here. What camera we doing? Okay. That's all she going to do. She ain't got time to do all of the, you know what I mean? Like,
you know what it reminds me of? Remember the night where you and Tina was sitting down and you was talking to Heather and Tom, right?
Yes.
Tom is like us, mad nerdy, going to do all this crazy stuff, whatever. Heather was like, nope, I'm just going to come and say my piece. I don't want to know about this. I'm going to talk into this Yeti. I don't need no Rodecaster Pro.
I love it.
Like, whatever.
I love it.
And there are many of folks, again, I'm going to say it right now, you go to your grandma's house and she give you that cornbread, that macaroni and cheese, a scoop of greens, and a piece of chicken. And that's better than anything Miss Ruth Chris could ever serve you. Mm-hmm. Anything. Because grandma's basic after church meal, cornbread, greens, macaroni and cheese, piece of chicken, side of sweet tea, can't be faded.
Nah.
Like Emerald Lagasse to come to your crib and hey, I'm gonna make you an etrouffee with some andouille sauce. Man, shut up, Emerald. You better grab a plate, fam. My mom done cooked this. Miss Moms. You know everybody had Miss Moms or Big Mama. Like Big Mama do this together. Yo, she just slap Emerald straight upside. Bam! Sit your butt down, boy. Get yourself a plate.
Sit down.
You gotta perfect the basics of just a good, wholesome meal with the family and fellowship before you could think about trying to generate what Emerald does. Right?
Yeah.
If you, even the top chefs, when you see them on TV, where did you learn this? Mom, dad, grandma, granddad. Somebody, their family recipes is what they're bringing to the next level to turn around and share with folks that gets them to be the best chefs. Right? Mm-hmm. So I'm in Atlanta airport, snowed in. Yeah, I don't know how to deal with snow. I'm from here. I'm from Hawaii. I don't know about the snow. I get snowed in, and the lady from the Delta counter was getting harassed by people, kept bothering her about when is the next flight, when is the next flight. I am a weird person. I speak up when I'm not supposed to. And I was just like, hey, can y'all leave this sister alone? She cannot fly planes. All she can do is look if there's a flight. If there's not, you got to wait. Can't nobody, we all in this together. Please leave her alone before she have a heart attack. And then she kind of just laughed, whatever. When it was my chance to get to the counter, she reached underneath the thing and she goes, here are these coupons. Go down to the food court, get whatever you want. And I was like, well, what's good down there? And she's like, oh, there's a soul food spot down there. Okay. No other information, right? She just buried the lead, as they call it. So she gave me these free vouchers to go downstairs and get something to eat because I was, obviously hangry because I spoke out like a fool. Why would black dude yell at white folks in Georgia? That's a good way to get hurt. So I went down to this thing. Yo, it was G. Garvin Restaurant, and he was there for some random reason. He was there, and he, basically explained everything to me, and I got to eat his food. And his restaurant is in the Hartfield Jackson. I think that's the word, Hartfield Jackson. Is that right, Atlanta people? But yeah, that dude like gave me the good stuff, just randomly. And then I'm just thinking, like, how did you build this empire? He's like, yo, this is all my grandma and my dad's recipes. He was just learning, you know what I'm saying? So everybody here that's doing what we do, start with your basics. Get your basics so good can't nobody tell you nothing.
Right.
And then you try to add, crackling to your cornbread. Prior to that, just make cornbread. Crackling cornbread is for experts.
I just have a heart for people when it's, when it's like, I'm one of the kids where my mother would say this. She said this one time, it was like an anniversary service. And everybody's like, oh, we love Keith, it's that and third. And she said, let me tell you something about my son. She said, the one thing I know about him, she said, you like, oh, damn, what mama gonna say in church about her son? You're like, you a grown-ass man. She like, let me tell you about my baby. It's like, mom, married with kids. Like, all right, don't say baby. But she said, here's the point, though. She said, Keith is the type of guy that when he was a kid, he knew how to figure out work. And he was a little bit ahead of the class, especially when it was math. And the teacher's rules would be, when you finish your work, you can play with the toys. And the thing is, she's like, the problem that Keith had was Keith would finish his work and go to play with the toys and realize there's nobody else to play with because they were still trying to figure it out. And so she's like, Keith would go and do their work for them so that they could finish so that he could have somebody to play with. I've never changed from that person. And the only hard lesson I had to learn as a child that was hard to learn is you can't do the work for everybody else, just for community and just to be with them, right? And it kind of sunk in deep to me, but it's like the principle it helped the congregation at the time to understand the heart of a person. And I say this to you, bro, without getting super sensitive, but like you have that in you too. Like people have to understand we don't do this to just be like, oh, look at me. Right? It's like, okay, I may have a moment of like, oh, look, I learned how to do this, do that. I got that new light. I'm feeling good. But I'm kind of like, if your live is suffering and your mic is suffering, this, that, and the third, I'm just pouring out, try to help because I don't want to be in this arena by myself. You know what I'm saying? It don't feel good. So it's like I was trying to do the work. As a kid, you can't do that. But as adults, it takes the other kid didn't understand. I got to step it up. Right? The kid's not going to understand it at that time. So it's kind of one way because I'm like, I got to do it. And the teacher has to teach the kid, you got to learn this on your own. And you can't let Keith do it for you just so you can play. This is life. This is purpose. This is bringing out the best in you. And so now once you know you need help, but you know you got to step into helping yourself and know that help's available, this is where it becomes iron sharpens iron. Because you are already made of something that's just getting sharp, but you get sharp around people that can help sharpen you, that are being sharpened by others that you may not know. And then everybody's cut for the purpose that they need to be on. So I just had to drop that piece in there because I felt that one. Lemuel would say, I felt that in my spirit.
You don't hoop Chicken Limb. You know if you hoop Chicken Limb and then he get the bobbing in his seat, and Limb start bobbing in the seat, it's on.
I'm going to New York soon. I'm gonna slide it on Lim, man. Lim be up there cutting it, boy. I'm coming. And Lim's got to take a picture of me and Tina because his eye is fire. His pictures, I love it. That's another one. Lim doesn't brag on it, but I seen his work. I seen your work.
His work is nice. The glory about what you said, Keith, that's just really quite amazing, is when you start to figure out why is it that people of power get to a position where they start acting foolish, it's because they were trying to do so much that they ended up finished their work, and now they got all of these toys and nobody to play with.
Yes. Yep.
Right? So
Yep.
there's some that will reach down and lift other people up with them in a positive manner, and others that just look at other people like, well, you lazy, so you didn't do what I did, so you're not up here. So now I'm going to just start being evil to them and mean to them, right? So, just like how you went to go help other people so you can bring them forth, some people will reach down and help other people to bring them forth. They'll reach down and teach them how, because they realize they can't just buy them everything that doesn't work.
Say
you try
it,
to
sir.
buy them everything, you end up like Hammer. A whole bunch of people that just took all your money when the money was like, go.
Yep.
Right? If you like LeBron and you reach down and then, okay, let me put my mans through school, let me build another school, let me show some stuff, and like teach people how to get in the program, you do much better.
Yes.
Right? If
Yes.
you're like Oprah, teach people how to do, and then now she built a whole bunch of little Oprahs that's out here running things, and you're building your stuff. So there's a couple different ways to handle that business. But when you said it the way you said it, it makes you realize how come so many people climb all the way up the food chain to find out it's lonely at the top. You
Yeah.
don't have to be.
Yeah.
And I never wanted to be like that. So that's why I remember as a brother, especially trying to learn computers back in the day, nobody would tell you nothing. Like everything was top secret. And when we was back in them big old floppy disk joints like that, when you go to the shareware store, like there was no downloading shareware, there was a shareware store. You went and you picked up the disc.
With the hole in the middle in that part where you like, don't touch, do not put your finger on it.
Don't, right? You had to hold it like this.
Right.
Right. Listen.
And the idiot that don't know, they like, what's this? Don't touch that.
Oh my goodness.
Part.
When I learned all this stuff about computers, especially realizing that computers were rare in the hood, and I knew that making music on the computer could help some of my friends get out, I tried to tell everybody. I'm like, look, instead of buying another pair of the starter jacket back then, I'm like, do not go and buy another $800 starter jacket. What you need to do is get you an Atari or a Mac SE. Let's go. And then, all right, cool. Now you got that? Let me show you how to do MIDI. What's MIDI? Never mind, but we're going to explain it. We're going to figure it out. Like, I started teaching all of my friends, like, how to get MIDI going, how to, like, get their stuff in the Cubase and Finale. Remember Finale? Edition? Whatever it was called.
Yes.
Like, and then I was like, well, I can't afford that Finale system. Don't worry, I got it. I had these floppies. You pull out a big stack of floppies, and I was just like getting it set up. And then like, wait, so I could put this track, and then I could put the bass line, and then say what, right? So like legit, I learned it so I can help other people, and a lot of my other people like, they started recording like go-go on 8-track. We had the Fostex or the Tascam Porter Studio 4. Right? And we just started making stuff. And that got me to wanting to teach the computer stuff because I saw it was another thing. If you was not sports inclined, I could still get you out the hood.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I started teaching. Our schools didn't teach us this mess, but I went to white school. So I had a computer.
Yep.
And then I came back and taught it to my friends so that they could get it figured out. And then by the time I leave, next thing you know, I hear EU on the station. When I come from Germany, I come back. I'm like, EU is like national? What is that? How did that happen? How did go-go get out? But then that means that, kids that I grew up with in Southeast started making noise, right? They started generating things. And they didn't have to depend on somebody coming to get them like Stacy, right? Stacy got. She came and got out the hood. You know what I mean? But other kids was able to work their way out. And to this day, I feel like, it might have been a random lesson. It might have been something we was clotting around in the library at school. But I feel like learning that stuff and giving it back put people on the path that then put them on bigger paths to help them move. And my grandma always taught us that, like, if they seen you starving and we had food, somebody was getting fed. So like I can't learn all this stuff and keep it to myself, right?
Wait,
I don't hide things in my paywall. They're not in my core. I put everything out.
Wait, so let me drop two things on this. What is the limb thing that Diana always was teasing Lim about when he was? What was his sermon about the moochers? And the
Yes.
tree,
Oh,
what's the
tree? It was about the tree and the lemons and the seeds. And yo, it was so good.
It's so good.
So
but
good.
but listen, to piggyback off of that, here's the thing. What we've grown to learn is it's I call it the mindset of Mr. Miyagi, right? So Mr. Miyagi knows how to fight, knew exactly all of the extra stuff. And Karate Kid jumps into ECAMM and goes, I want all that. I want to be right there and pow, 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 pow. And it's like, wax on, wax off. And it's like, what the frick is this? A real teacher knows how to break it back to the basic. It's the discipline of knowing. And I'm saying that because we're at a place now, and I'm going to say it for you, Doc, because I don't like the hustlers. And here's something I'm just going to say, because you know how we do. I don't like the hustlers or the moochers, right? That, they take, because to me, it dishonors, or in a sense disrespects, the people that have put in the work. And so what I mean by that is there's people that know stuff and their past has brought them to where they are now, and they have something to offer. And then you get the hustlers that go, oh, what mic you using, Doc? And then you say the mic. They say what cord you need to it. Then they get stuck in on the low. They try to figure out the problem. Then they go, oh, I got a master class. And it's just like, and then you just hustling people for the master class that it's like, nah, that's not cool. So, yeah, I'll sometimes show off like, okay, yeah, switch your camera. They go a jib, this, that, and the third. But the minute you say, oh, I'm going to get that, I'm like, whoa, Kimusabi, let me help you out, right? You understand what I'm saying? Like, or if you want to know, I also am vetting, are you serious about it? And say, if you just want to give up the paper and do the master class, go for it. But I do care enough about, is this what you want to do? And I just said that right. For the Let's Get Live, and another friend of mine is working on something that's about helping community, because we are in a day and age of, really pouring out, and these platforms do help. To me, ECAMM is like the broadcasting system of the new Netflix in a sense, because it was like, yo, we're tired of the 3, 6, 10 stations and stuff, and then you start going internet, then you go internet, then you got YouTube, then you got Netflix and all this and that stuff. Now, you can just push a button and get your information out there. And this is really
there's no excuse anymore.
Yeah, it's no excuse anymore. And amazingly enough,
even if you can't write a script or something, like, you and I, we could just Baptist preach the whole thing. Right? But Elaine, even if you feel like I gotta have a script and you can't do it with a script or something like that, like, yo, you got tools now. Yo, ChatGPT will write a script for you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, Keith, can I tell you, Miss Elaine is one
That's
of
the
dopest individuals.
Yes.
In the planet.
Shout out to Elaine.
Right? Elaine. Yo, she's amazing. I went to Seattle last year with my family, and she took us to go see the Vincent Van Gogh experience. To this day, Carrie's mom still be like, hey, you did class Saturday? Yes. Hey, did you talk to Elaine? She's Japanese, fam. I'm sorry. Okay.
Elaine's I'm still mad with you because you've been to Seattle and I haven't been to Seattle in over 12 years. And I did not. I literally was hating on your picture at the wharf and stuff. I'm like, I don't want to see you eat no seafood. I can't wait to get back. Good. I can't wait to get back.
I got to meet up with Dina, Elaine, and Shelly. And when we went to the Van Gogh thing, and then so Karen's mom, she's a farm girl from Okinawa, right? So Elaine took us to Bellevue Botanical Gardens, and to this day, Karen's mom looks at the pictures that we took in the you walking through the forest out there, because Pacific Northwest is a whole different look than you're gonna find in Hawaii or like in Okinawa, right? It's very tropical down here. So she was just like in awe. All of the cool stuff they had. They even had a little like Japanese style thing in the forest. It's like a little tea house built in the forest. It had the Japanese bridge and everything. So it was just the dopest experience. And so to this very day, Karen's mom always asks me, how's E-Rain? I'm like, she's good. So I just want to give love to Elaine because she is an amazing individual. And Keith, you slipping. I know that you're a mistake to jump in a plane and go visit and y'all can go see some jazz or whatever and just enjoy it. Seattle's a beautiful spot, fam.
I'm going. So wait, Lionel says I'm in the PAC NW
Pacific
doc.
Northwest.
Pacific Northwest. Okay, got you. Pacific Northwest. See, I don't know them codes, man. I didn't know that was a DC term or a West Coast term.
Nah, dude, how you know about Trouble Funk, DJ Cool, and all of that DC joint? Yo, Lionel, you secretly from DC too?
Wait, who's that?
That was Lionel Bailey. He said,
"Oh, Trouble Funk, DJ Cool."
Like,
wow.
Yo.
Yeah, what you know about DMV like that? I thought only Tina and Dot was hood.
Yo, fam,
when you come to Philly, I'm not even gonna be in the room. I'm not even gonna be on the camera. You and Tina gonna be on camera.
Oh, that's just great. Dude, I remember the first day we was talking about ECAMM and like what we could do to make it better. And like I wasn't working here yet. Like it was just two cats that had ECAMM. And back then you had to call each other on Skype. We didn't even have no interview mode yet. And we was trying to figure stuff out. And then one day we was talking and then you had said something about DC. I was like, what you know about DC? And he's like, what? My wife is from DC. I was like, nah, for real, like I'm from DC. Come to find out, I know for a fact that my sister there and Tina there probably used to yell at each other from across the park.
Gotta be. Y'all gonna find out and be like, you gotta be kidding me. Gotta be kidding me.
Oh man. They probably was in the police station together. Waiting for Maz to come and get them.
Well, look, dude, I got to get up and actually the OG got to play tomorrow. I got to get on a Hammond B3 and play for a funeral tomorrow. Man. I don't know the people. It's just all the young boys. They all out on the road with these artists. It's funny. All the church musicians is out of town. You know when they out of town because the old preachers call you up and be like, yo, Pelzer. I'm like, what's up? I can't get no musician for tomorrow. I'm like, oh, man. And then they want you to play something that you like digging out the crates and stuff. So, yeah, I got to jump on the hammer tomorrow.
If you ever get a chance to, next time you're in D.C. with Tina, go down to Catholic University. They still got one of the old school gigantic organs where you got to flick the switches and it has the air and the gigantic tools like the tabernacle joint.
Yeah.
Yo, you got to just see it in real life before because it's a dying breed, right? The steam organs.
Yeah.
Yo, they got a big one in there. And when you hit the oh my God, the sounds that come out of that thing are incredible. There's like 3 people left in the world that can fix them. So you got to go see it and hear it before it disappears. You never get a chance to hear it. Of course, we can fake it with our keyboards, but hearing it in real life inside the cathedral, bruh, it's crazy.
Oh,
super crazy.
Guess what I get to do? I'm gonna be on a HBO set, not on camera, but I'm doing some BTS. A friend of mine, he works with Teddy Riley and a bunch of people. He lives in Bethlehem, PA. And it's like an old steel something factory up there, and they're recording the drum sounds like in the steel plant, like they're coming out micing it for to make like a sample library. So I get to do some shots on the BTS on there, a little bit of video footage and some camera shots. It's gonna be exciting, man. So I'm excited for that, man. Where you traveling to next before we jump off of here? Where you out of town?
I'm going to San Diego next week to link up with Diana.
Oh yeah, nobody wants to hear about that with y'all.
I'm gonna be in charge of her cables. Yeah, Diana is speaking. I'm not speaking, but I'm just carrying stuff and like taking shots of her or whatever, interviewing people on the strength. And then I'm going to be speaking at NAB coming up in April. I'm speaking at NAB, National Association of Broadcasters.
And where's that at?
In Vegas.
Oh, that's gonna be in Vegas.
Yeah, it's like NAMM, but for the video side. All the everything, TV stations, HBO, everybody be there. I'm speaking on Final Cut over there, and then going to Boston to do Leap in Live Selling, which is coming up soon.
Okay. All right. Dude, it was great hooking up with you, man. I'm glad you jumped in.
Good to see you.
We gotta do this more often, man. We gotta do this more often.
Straight up.
Folk is in here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna do it for him. This was not preempted. Dot Rock didn't hit me, asked me to do nothing. He didn't ask for the advertisement, nothing. But we're about really community and helping just us two as individuals, not representing anybody particular, but as an extension off of ECAMM and that some kind of way in saying that, many people are familiar with Let's Get Live. There's a lot of resources in there, people that can help, and we can both vouch for you won't go in there and get hustled. And so nobody's trying to take your money just to take your money. So if anything costs you, it's because these are proven people that are there to help. Okay, we have weeded out the hustlers and whatnot. And again, you have people in that community on the give back. So a lot of the information you got on tonight, I want to say go to Dot Rock's page. If you didn't subscribe to my page, like and subscribe. Just show a little bit of love. That's all we ask for. If you feel like being a blessing to somebody, just go ahead and do it if you got value from this. If you do not have ECAMM and you just being newsy on the YouTube side, check it out. The affiliate links of any ECAMmer, I invite you all to put it in my comment section on my YouTube page if you want to. Put your affiliate link down there. Somebody just close your eyes, pray about it, choose it, and get the 14-day trial, right? Check it out. And if you like it, you know, we are not moochers, okay? We're limb drop. We're not moochers. We are a community, and I'm just grateful for all of the people that have sharpened me through this process. I love you, bro. I appreciate you, and to all of you that I know you and the ones I don't know, thank you for joining us on tonight. I'm leaving out on the Floetry song because I can play it because I wrote it, and if they try to flag me on it, they can see me about it. But it's called Be Yourself. That's it, people. Just go ahead, do what you got to do. Shout out to Marsh Nat, to Darren Henson, my partner that I used to work with. We did this song, it never came out, and we actually did it out at Dr. Dre's studio, but it didn't come out. The other songs did. Be out, people.
I love you too much to sit here and watch each other, force each other to hate each other. This ain't where you need to be.
And it says,
you can do what you want to do. Go ahead, be yourself.
That's right. I'm not holding you back.
This is so dope.
You can do what you gotta do. Go ahead and do what you gotta do.
So can I say we? Cause it seems that I assume sometimes we haven't spoke. Sunset to sunrise, I'm surprised you're even here. I felt your heat, so I knew you were near. Loneliness scares me, but with I'm not lonely. I can't fake this, so yo, you need to show me. Now in my heart, I hope that you want me. But if not, yo, you're gonna be safe.
You can do what you wanna do. Go ahead, be yourself.
That's what it is.
Yourself, yeah. You can do what you gotta do. Go ahead and do what you gotta do.
peace. We out, people. Holla.